Hi everybody, my name is Dylan Jost. I currently have rheumatoid arthritis for the past 11 years now. I would just like to share some information and my story about rheumatoid arthritis with you guys. What do I want to get out of this? Basically, I would actually just like to share some information, some tips with you guys, people who don't have rheumatoid arthritis, people who do have, people who know who have, and stuff like that. Just to maybe just share, give some insight on it, show, just like explain and show how it affects people on a daily basis, how it affects me on a daily basis. And yeah, I would just like to start out by reading exactly what rheumatoid arthritis is. Rheumatoid arthritis is a chronic inflammatory disorder that can affect more than just your joints. In some people, the condition also can damage a wide variety of body systems, including the skin, eyes, lungs, heart, and blood vessels. An autoimmune disorder, rheumatoid arthritis, occurs when your immune system mistakenly attacks your own body's tissues. Unlike the wear and tear damage of osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis affects the linings of your joints, causing a painful swelling that can eventually result in bone erosion and joint deformity. The inflammation associated with rheumatoid arthritis is what can damage other parts of the body as well. While new types of medications have improved treatment options dramatically, severe arthritis can still cause physical disabilities. Alright, so basically what that means is that my body is constantly fighting against itself. So that basically means autoimmune is basically I don't have an immune system anymore. Well, basically I've got, but it's not hardly there. So we're talking about, as you can hear, my voice already is still a bit crackly and froggy. I have been having a throat infection for the past 2-3 weeks now. So there we go. That's one example already of how it affects me. I'm basically always sick, from stomach problems to gastro. I know, sorry, I'm just being blunt right now, but that's how it is. Yeah, being sick the whole time, having chronic fatigue and all of that. So basically my story, it started in September 2007. I was 19 years old, fresh out of school. I started studying. I took a gap year, and I'll get back to that just now. Basically, I was in my first year, end of my first year of hotel school. And basically what happened was my right knee got swollen and it was in immense pain. I could hardly walk. It was probably double or triple the size of the left knee, and it literally felt like, I can't explain to you, it was like, I don't know, glass and knives inside the knee and underneath the cap. It was horrendous, up until a point where I actually literally could not work. I was actually doing my practical for my hotel school, and I actually had to like immediately leave and go check out what's happening at the doctor. Basically, the doctor sent me straight to hospital. She thought it was Dr. Kaysen. She thought it was septic arthritis. So obviously what they had to do was they sent me in. I got an incision in my knee. They drained all the fluids, and then they actually did an arthroscopy just to see what's inside and if it's how damaged it is and what could be causing this. From there, I got released. I was at home for a few days. I was actually taking a shower, I remember this clearly, and next thing, my ankle was horrendously sore. Yet again, the same sharp needle, knife, glass. It was just immense pain in my right ankle, and then literally a few hours later it started going to my left ankle, my left knee. It started going into my elbow, my right elbow especially, slowly into my left elbow, and this is within a few days. So we went straight back to the doctor again. They referred me to a specialist, and I got hold of Dr. von Duren. Basically what she said was, she thought then it was reactive arthritis. So after a few tests and whatnot, and back into hospital, where they actually gave me a lot of cortisone, they then came to the conclusion that it was rheumatoid arthritis. Yeah, so basically I would like to just go more into that pain. I have had quite a few surgeries and stuff like that, and my most recent was I've actually had ingrown toenails and stuff like that, and the doctors for that told me that this is one of the most painful surgery procedure there is. Not the surgery itself, but the recovery. They told me that it's going to bleed for days on end, weeks on end, and it's going to be horrendously painful. Can I tell you that that surgery compared to arthritis was actually probably a bit less worse than my worst flare-up. By flare-up, I mean that is when I really, like, my joints swell, I can't walk, I can't move. As stated, I've got it in my knees, I've got it in my ankles, I've got it in my wrists, my hands. I actually had it in my ear. I actually thought I was going deaf. I couldn't hear. So I went to hospital again, and they gave me more cortisone, which cleared it up. It's a quick fix. Cortisone is a quick fix, but it doesn't help it in the long run, and it completely screws your body up. I've picked up about, I think, 50 kilograms or 40 kilograms of fat within the past, let's say, 8 years or so. So yeah, it affects you horrendously. So back to the surgery story. While I was recovering for the surgery, it was obviously bad for the first day. And whatnot. But after that, I could start walking around. It was much easier to move around. When I have a flare-up, I was actually taking, obviously I got a flare-up soon after the surgery, because I couldn't take my medication and I skipped my treatment. So I got a flare-up, I think, a week after surgery. Can I tell you that my flare-up was worse than the surgery? And they gave me, I think, Schedule 6 painkillers, those big white ones that put you on a trip, those ones. That didn't help for my arthritis. That is how painful arthritis actually is, especially when you are in flare-up. Flare-up is horrendous. I mean, like I said, I can hardly move, I can hardly walk, I cannot do anything when I'm in a flare-up. On a day-to-day basis, yes, I'm always in pain. My knees and my ankles, I can't run anymore. They are always sore, my toes are always swollen, my ankles are always swollen. Sometimes I really struggle to go upstairs and just walk around a lot. But on the other hand, I must say, if I actually walk around a lot on flat ground, it actually helps. Because the mobility and stuff like that, it strengthens the joints, it gets the blood flowing, it actually helps. But for me, in flare-up, it's impossible to do that. On a day-to-day basis, I really try my best to go to gym and stuff like that, but then yet again, every second day I'm sick. So, that is what the pain is, and with the pain, obviously because you're always inflamed and in pain, you get chronic fatigue. Can I tell you, after sleeping for 12 hours, you can literally wake up and go back to bed. That is basically what chronic fatigue is. It is horrendous. Some days I just can't function. I cannot concentrate. I can't think straight. I can't do anything. I can't work. I can't get a 9-to-5 job anymore. It's impossible. I have to make do with a lot of small jobs, which I'm currently doing. And yeah, the fatigue is probably actually most of the time worse than the pain, because you feel so drained. And when you're that tired, imagine working 70-80 hours a week. That week is basically how I feel on a daily basis, and it's difficult to function like that. That is probably, for me, the fatigue is the worst. I can deal with the pain. I've learned to deal with it. Eventually the pain actually starts subduing. Alright, so that's basically the worst parts of the arthritis. Throughout the years, I've started getting chronic depression, and I've actually been diagnosed bipolar. That's obviously come because I'm always tired, I'm always in pain. So that's another extra that comes with arthritis down the years. Treatments that I have been through so far. We're looking at plasmaquine, which is actually an anti-malarial. It does very well for the beginning, but extended usage causes crystals in your eyes, which obviously then affects your vision. So I was only on plasmaquine for probably about 2 years or so, and then I stopped. Obviously I'm on anti-inflammatories every day of my life. Painkillers, I try my best not to use painkillers until I really cannot anymore, and then they still don't help. So I try not to use painkillers. If I can give you an estimate, I'll probably say maybe 2 or 3 times a month I use painkillers. I'm trying my best not to get addicted to that. Cortisone. I used to be on panic fort tablets on a daily basis. It was I think 3 or 4 a day. And I was also then, whenever I had a flare-up, I used to go get cortisone injections. The worst was when I was really in a flare-up for weeks, and yet again I couldn't walk. I was actually in a wheelchair for a few months. What the doctor did was she actually injected cortisone straight into my toes, into my ankles, into my knee, and then I passed out. Apparently she put it into my hands as well, and into my elbow, and I think she put it into my back as well. But like I said, I can't remember those because I passed out from the pain. Methotrexate. This is also horrible. They actually give it to chemotherapy patients. It's a very horrendous drug. Some people don't get affected. My grandma, sorry, this is yet again, I got it. My grandma's got it. She's now passed away, sadly. I miss you, Grandma. She passed away 2 years. She was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis 4 years ago. My mom 3 years ago. So obviously I got it from the family. Thanks Grandma, thanks Mom, love you guys. So it is hereditary. It comes from especially females. It comes from your female side. My grandma was actually completely immune to methotrexate. She would pop I think 4 or 6 a week, and she was 100% fine. My mom and I, on the other hand, methotrexate, we take it, and then literally a few hours later, your head is in the toilet and you are spewing. So it didn't really work for us. Sure, it helped a few days later, but yet again, you still feel horrendous for the first 2 or 3 days, and then it eventually helps on the day 3, day 4. And obviously, from the spewing and stuff, it completely breaks the line, the lining of your stomach and all of that. So you've got constant stomach issues, which is also not nice, especially if you have it constantly. Then from here, I started biologics in 2009, roughly. I can't remember the exact date. I started with Humira, which is a self-inject underneath the belly skin injection treatment. And from there, I went to Revelex. From there, I went to Orentia. From there, I went to Actemra. I'm still on Actemra, but now I have started self-injection once a week. Basically, biologics are they go onto your T cell and your C cell, and they change the properties of that to see if that can stop your blood cells and your system from attacking itself. Yet again, all of these biologics helped up to a certain point. Humira only helped me for about 6 months or so, and then my body, I had one of the worst flare-ups ever after that, and I was in hospital for about a week again after that. Revelex lasted quite long. I think that was about 4 years, but eventually you actually create antibodies against that, and that stopped working. Orentia as well, it worked well for about 2 years or so, and then my body created antibodies. Actemra is where I'm sitting now. Apparently this is one of the treatments that does not create your body does not create antibodies against this treatment. So it does well, but the infusion was once a month. It helped usually about 2 weeks or so for me, and then I used to go back into flare-ups and stuff like that. The self-injection once a week, I've been on this now for about 2 or 3 months. It is doing very well. But I'm obviously, like I said, I'm still in pain and all of that. The doctor put it lightly to me. She said I should be around 100 kilos to 120 kilos for this treatment to work effectively, or less, obviously. At the moment, I'm sitting just under 150 kilos. Yes, I do gym, so it's not all fat, but a large chunk of that is fat. And she did tell me that the fat actually absorbs the treatments, the biologics, and it doesn't work well. So this is what I wanted to talk to you guys as well down the line, is to maybe start going into exercise programs with you guys and diet programs and all of that, to see what helps and what can help and what makes you lose weight and stuff like that. I would actually like to just touch upon a few other things that's happened. Well, what's been linked to arthritis. I must say, losing friends has been a very big thing. Up to a point where one of my friends actually told me that I was faking, and that he read up about rheumatoid arthritis, and that I do not have rheumatoid arthritis, and that I'm just pretending, and the symptoms I have are not correct, and all of that. So, screw you, buddy, yet again. You know who you are. Hopefully you get this video and just know that that was a really ass move from you. Another good thing to say, well, to classify rheumatoid arthritis is, you know, the Hulk says he's always angry. Well, I'm always in pain. So that's basically one way to think of it as well. What I can and cannot do anymore. I cannot work 8 to 5, 9 to 5 job 5 days a week. I can't do that anymore. I can barely run. I can't really do much heavy exercising. I can do heavy weights. I can't do a lot of running, and I can't do a lot of cardio, which is a huge problem as well, because that's obviously where you burn your fat. So it's a very difficult thing to balance. So that's what I'm still trying to work on, and that's what I want to try and do with you guys as well. I'm always sick, as I stated earlier, from flu to throat infections and gastric problems and all of that. It's a vicious cycle. Like, I'll be fine for one day, the next day I'll be sick, and then I'll be sick for a week, and then I'll start gymming again after I'm better, and then I'm in flare up, and then from there, right after treatment and getting better, I go back into being sick or having gastric problems or whatever. So it's a vicious cycle. So I would just like to maybe share some experiences and information with you guys. Maybe the next video blog we can have a look and maybe talk about exercising and possible like home remedies and stuff like that that helps. A few other things that I have tried that don't work, that have worked a little bit, and perhaps from there we can start taking you guys to gym with us and maybe looking at meal prep with you guys. And yeah, basically, please can give this a share, give us a like, and let's connect and see what we can do from here. Thank you for your time. Cheers.